Hey guys, in this video I wanted to address some of the misconceptions and statistics behind children getting offended on. There's a lot of misconception when it comes to sexual predators and pedophiles, and I wanted to take the opportunity to share our experience with Robbie and to kind of give you guys some information. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get updates as well as get more information. I'm constantly uploading videos to be both informative, and also I will be uploading periodic updates regarding Robbie. Okay, so statistically speaking, 1 in 3 females will become sexually assaulted by the age of 18. That is an outstanding number. So 33.33% of all women by the age of 18 will have been offended sexually. 1 in 7 boys by the age of 18 will have been offended on sexually. And that's also by the age of 18. Out of all of the children who do get sexually offended on, only 1 in 10 of them are going to speak up. So 9 of those victims are going to remain silent and never tell their story. There's a lot of misconceptions about why they don't talk about it and why they don't tell. But a lot of times victims feel guilt, shame, fear. They feel like they're a burden on their family, and there's certain circumstances where maybe they're nonverbal children and they don't have the ability to speak or talk. And oftentimes when you're a victim, you feel extremely confused about what just happened, and so a lot of times they just don't want to talk about it. There's also a lot of misconceptions that people believe that if your child has been sexually offended, that they're going to stand out, that there's going to be a whole bunch of signs and they're going to act out, and that you're going to know that they were offended on. A lot of times there are very subtle signs, and they are often overlooked or completely missed altogether. Abusers of children, they're generally not scary, creepy, or weird people. So there's a misconception that you can tell somebody's a pedophile, but oftentimes you cannot even tell that the person's a pedophile. The person generally is actually somebody who is quite upright and responsible, who's like a standout citizen. They purposely go out of their way to make people believe that they're like a great person. And 90% of the time that somebody is offended on, it is somebody that is close to them. So 90% of the time, if your child gets sexually offended on, it's somebody that you know and very much trust. So do keep that in mind. Abusers are not people who are out hiding. Pedophiles do not hide. They're generally people who are out in plain sight that we have a lot of respect and trust in, and we don't even know they're doing it. It is a secret that you do not even necessarily pick up on. The only real warning signs for these people are the fact that they themselves will position themselves in ways that put them alone with children. So it might be a neighbor or an uncle or a cousin who offers to babysit your children, and you just think that they're really nice. These people come off really nice, and they're also a really good guy, right? So why not let them watch your children so you can have a night out with your husband? You know, it's always situations where we think that people are doing us a favor, but do understand that they purposely position themselves in these situations to be alone with your child. 80 to 90% of all offenders are men. So up to 90% of the time, it will be a male who offends on a child. Now, 10 to 20% of the time, it is obviously a female. It's actually closer to 10% generally, but throughout the years, it can go up as high statistically as 20%. So that's why it's a 10 to 20% range and a 70 to 80% range for men. 40% of all offenders who offend on children who are 12 and under are generally under the age of 18. So 40% of sexual offenders are children. So only 60% of pedophiles are adults. That is a misconception, and people are so surprised. I have heard over and over and over that people are really surprised to hear that there's a child pedophile. 40% of all pedophiles are under the age of 18. And now I say pedophiles, I say that very loosely, but 40% of all sexual offenders are under the age of 18. So keep that in mind. Children do offend on children. It happens quite often, and a lot of stories I've heard are older siblings or cousins, just other children or neighbors or somebody on a school bus. So 40% of offenders are under 18. Keep that in your head. 70% of all people who sexually offend will have between 1 and 9 victims. So 70% of sexual offenders will have up to 9 victims. That is 9 kids we could be saving by identifying these offenders. Grooming. Grooming is something that they do. It's something to look out for. Also, more statistics regarding the seriousness. 20% of all sexual offenders will have between 10 to 40 victims, and serial molesters can have up to 400 victims. There are certain serial molesters out there who have literally molested up to 400 children. So back to the grooming. Grooming starts to occur. Some of the things to look for with grooming is it's usually non-sexual. So this is usually a person who's developing a relationship with your child, somebody that your child can trust. They're just like the best of friends. They have so much fun together. They might play trucks together or Barbies together, and they're just like so cute. And it's somebody that is a non-sexual relationship, and it seems anything but sexual. And again, they're going to hide in plain sight and make sure that it never appears sexual to you. They will earn your trust by being that standout person, and they will also earn your child's trust by being that person. Sexualization between them and your child, it's a gradual process. It's not something that they just randomly begin. Again, they're going to build that trust. They're going to build your trust, and then they're going to victimize your child when you least expect it. A lot of times your children are coerced into silence, and so victims don't speak out because they feel guilt and shame because they're being properly groomed. And so when somebody is grooming you, they coerce you and make you feel guilty if you tell, or shameful if you tell, or they make you feel scared to tell, whatever the case might be. And remember, only 1 in 10 children will tell. That's 90% of children will never tell about the abuse that occurs. I'm just trying to think of where I wanted to go with that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But most sexual acts that occur are brought on by guilt and shaming victims. And it's important to remember as parents, somebody who is a parent of many, many kids, that children naturally lack that intuition and the knowledge that we have as adults and the life experience to recognize dangerous situations. So oftentimes children will go along with things that might not be right, or they wouldn't normally go along with had they had more life experience. And so it's important that we as parents are paying attention to the statistics, and we're making sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that our children are being put in safe positions, because again, they don't have that life experience or the intuition or the knowledge to know that something's going to happen until it's already too late. So remember, 1 in 3 girls end up sexually assaulted before the age of 18. That is a very high number. 1 in 7 boys are sexually assaulted before the age of 18. I want you to think about those numbers, keep those numbers in your head, and remember, it's always the people you trust. 90% of the time, it's somebody you're trusting, somebody who seems like a great guy or a great girl. 90% of the time, it's a man. 10% of the time, it's a woman. It does happen. It's unlikely, but women do also harm children. I just want to share those statistics with you guys because I want to help you guys make responsible decisions as parents and just kind of be in the know. Keep the information in the back of your mind always when you're making decisions, and always be safe over sorry. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning into my channel. If you would like to follow more videos like these, please subscribe. I also will be posting updates regarding Robbie periodically as I get updates. And as always, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's been supportive of my channel. I do this for you guys. So far, one perpetrator has come to me who was also a child, and he turned himself in, and we've been able to make a difference and save those 2 children, as well as there's been over 50 families who have come forward with very similar situations to ours, which really shows us that it can happen to anybody. And I've been working with those families to make sure that they have the right resources and information. And if I don't have the right information, I will fight hard to get you the right information, because no family should ever suffer alone. So my purpose in my channel will always be to make sure that both victims and families in similar situations never have to suffer in silence, and that we're going to go ahead and break that silence and educate society so that we can make a difference and save the children. If you guys have any questions or you need to get a hold of me, in the About section is my Facebook as well as my email. Thank you for all the love and support. I love you all so much. Have a great night.